Hey guys, what's happening? Niyat here with Film and Comics Explained, and today we'll be exploring Moder, the bastard offspring of Loki, as featured in David Bruckner's The Ritual, based on the 2011 novel of the same name by Adam Nevill.
What is it?
A god? Ancient? A bastard offspring of Loki. We do not say its name.
The Ritual follows a group of college friends on a hiking trip in Sweden. What starts out as a men's retreat in tribute to a fallen friend soon turns into a fight for survival as things take a turn for the worst. As the group proceed further into the maze-like forest out of desperation, they begin seeing cryptic symbols and bizarre effigies before they start getting picked off by a strange beast that appeared to blend in with the environment. That beast is of course Moder, also known as the Creature, which was the main antagonist of both the novel and the feature film. The beast is in essence an obscure Jotun that inhabited a dense forest in northern Sweden and was venerated by an ancient group of cultists that were granted an unnaturally long life.
We worship it. It keeps us here. Let us live beyond natural life. No more pain. No more death.
Appearing as an enormous elk-like monster with bright yellow eyes, skeletal head antlers, and a pair of human-like hands on its side, Moder was described by one of the Swedish cultists as being a bastard child of the Norse god Loki. Along with its elk-like physique, the creature appeared to have its body overgrown with plant matter, had spikes protruding along its spine, and its head resembled a headless torso with antlers for arms. The beast is also explained as being one of the Jotnar, entities in Norse mythology that were ambiguously defined and often referred to by other names such as giants, trolls, and other classifications by those that could not comprehend what they actually were. While the creature was an original creation of Neville's, the writer drew inspiration from the many stories of Loki in Norse mythology that explained the trickster god had fathered a handful of monstrous beast-like Jotuns, like Jormungandr the serpent, Fenrir the wolf, and the female being known as Hel, who was a giantess that ruled over the underworld. I'm sure many of you guys will remember a version of Hel was brought into the MCU in the form of Hela, who made her first appearance in Thor Ragnarok, though it should be noted that much of her backstory was altered and was changed to make her the daughter of Odin instead of Loki. Now, Moder would stalk all travellers who entered his forest and proceed to mark the person or persons whom he believed had suffered from deep emotional pain. That person was then given the choice of either worshipping Moder or dying at its hands. It should also be noted that those that were not marked by it would be tortured and sacrificed to the beast. Repeating this process over centuries, the creature amassed a large number of worshippers made up of missing people who were unfortunate enough to deviate through the forest. All of these people had at some point encountered great emotional turmoil, and though trapped by Moder, they'd each been offered salvation and eternal life in exchange for worshipping the offspring of Loki.
Your ritual begins tonight. It is a privilege to worship. You will kneel before the god. If not, it will hang you from the trees.
When asked about the creature featured in his film, Bruckner described it as an Old Norse Viking nightmare that his characters were unlucky enough to face. He also spoke of how his favourite monsters in film were generally not shown in full until the end, and this influenced his decision to only show parts of the beast until the climax. Adam Nevill's novel described the Moder as a nightmarish female goat-like creature with certain human qualities, an overall image that unwinds as the novel progresses. In reading the descriptions, Bruckner conjured different, contrasting images in his imagination, and wanted to represent that kind of thought process in the actual creature designed for the film adaptation. He also spoke of Moder's power to alter its environment and the way that it looked, and how, much like its father Loki, you only ever saw what it wanted you to see, as explained with this quote. We had to feature it, and that meant that we had to kind of literalize not just how it looks, but how it chooses to present itself. Because the idea of these kinds of shape-shifting Norse gods is that they can choose how you see them. So, what you're seeing is how it desires to be interpreted. And it's part of the way it intimidates and controls. If you haven't already seen The Ritual, I highly recommend that you check it out, as it's a must-watch for horror enthusiasts. The story is both original and enthralling, the characters are well realised and developed, the scenery is hauntingly beautiful, and the film takes its time to create a palpable atmosphere of dread that crescendos till the film's climax, and the full reveal of Moder in all of his giant-sized glory.
Well, this is clearly the house we'll get murdered in.
Well, that's all for today, folks. Big thanks to all of you guys who requested we take a look at Moder the Jotun. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the notification icon to stay up to date on all my content. And if there's anything else you'd like to request, please don't hesitate to ask. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.